A while back on a Five Below trip, I spotted this portable cassette player for only $10 and snagged it to do a review on, but it ended up sitting on my shelf for a while. But today is its lucky day, so let's get this thing open. Now, the branding suggests that this is a Vivitar product, which we've had bad luck with before. However, it looks like it's just a Five Below special that can be found on AliExpress for a range of prices, likely bought in bulk so they can sell it to us super cheap, and I much rather prefer this clear version than the boring black one I got. Opening it up, we've got the player itself, which is pretty light, as well as these likely awful earbuds. I didn't realize this has a speaker built in when I bought it, as well as an antenna, so that's a nice surprise as I've wanted something to listen to baseball games with a dash of nostalgia on. For the buttons, we have a stop, play, fast forward, and rewind, but it looks like they got the orientation mixed up as the fast forward is pointing backwards and the rewind is forward. Anyway, putting in 2 AA batteries and booting up the radio, it surprisingly picks up some local stations pretty well and clear.
If we're being upfront about it, like, you've already lost an All-Pro at center. You're already not as good as last year.
Well, as clear as a dinky little speaker can, but for talk radio and eventually baseball, not bad. I did notice that the meter for what station you're on is completely wrong though. We're tuned into 97.1 here, and it says we're past 100, so you just have to guess until you get there. Now for the tape, we'll be using Faith No More's The Real Things, playing the song Epic to see how this plays, and... wow, that sucks. The play button just doesn't stay pushed in, and depending on how hard you press it, the tape speed will change. I tried fast forward off camera, but this also appears to be broken between takes. Only rewind works and actually sets, so the cassette portion is a bust. So, unexpectedly, this thing is at best a novelty radio and at worst a cassette holder. Because it doesn't really play tapes as it should, I can't recommend this even as an emergency radio because the build quality is so bad on these buttons that I can't imagine it would hold up long term. And God forbid you need it in an actual emergency. These seem to already be sold out at most stores, but if you see one, just pass on it and look for something used that's working. Let me know your thoughts, and cheers.